Okay, Gavin, we'll start with you. The sexiest song that you know.
Well, the problem I'm having with that is that it's often like the situation that you're in more than like you're not suddenly out, you know, and like it's that sort of thing like, you know, ging, suddenly you get entranced and you've got to go and sort yourself out in some way. But right. I think that I'd go Serge Gainsbourg, that sort of area, but I like lots of mellow stuff, all those, you know, those bands like Low and Spain. Do you know those bands?
Yeah,
in America, those kind of nice things like that. But lots of reggae stuff, you know, dub-based, bass-oriented stuff.
Okay, more so Low and sleazy.
Yeah, more than.
It's a rhythmic thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
fine line between rhythm and repetition. It's fun.
Gavin, your thoughts on the Manic Street Preachers?
Yeah, I know it's funny because when you've seen the clips of them, you're aware of all the singles and stuff, and they write some really good tunes and stuff. And what's always struck me about them, and I like them, is that their manifesto has always been much more avant-garde than their music. You know, I mean, they've always had really brilliant philosophies with their records. You know, their first album was all about, you know, no love songs. Then there's all the great, you know, their artwork with Jenny Saville, all the great paintings they used, Jenny Holzer, all the slogan stuff. So really, really good ideas.
What do you make of the music they're making now? Because I mean, a lot of the fans have given them a very hard time by saying they've sold out, they're making very bland music now, and they used to be really, you know.
Well, they used to be much more traditional. You know, they were like, you know, really Clash. They got a lot from the Clash stuff, and pretty kind of straight ahead rock and roll thing, but yet with these brilliant sort of lyrics and brilliant ideas.
Okay. I think one of the things that's really important though is that even though people might have said they meant, I remember when the Clash kind of like sort of softened some of their sound, the content lyrically and the motivation was still there, and they were just trying to evolve, and there was all that kind of crap punk stuff about selling out, and it was all based on kind of like the level of sort of like how scratchy the sound was rather than sort of what the content of the songs were. And I think if you can put out a single and get a sort of real top 10 hit with "If you tolerate this, your children will be next," then you're having it away big time, because
that's a wicked
it's
lyric,
really cool.
You know,
yeah,
that's from the Arnold Bevan, you know, speech, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. It's brilliant.
And in a certain way, you only get away with it by mellowing the sound to get the sort of like the sentiment across. Sometimes it's the best way to do it.
Gavin, over the years, the Manics have done a load of cover versions, from Burt Bacharach to Wham. Can a band ever pull off a really good cover version?
Depends if they're like what I don't like about when bands do covers. Trying to avoid is when they get karaoke-like. You know, then I don't see any point, because usually the original is so much better anyway. So if you totally revisit a track and give it a fresh angle, then yeah, then it makes sense.
How did All Saints have done? You did Under the Bridge and Lady
Moment.
Gavin, what did you make of that? You were tapping your foot.
I loved her voice, you know, a lot. And what was weird about her is that I was never really like the kind of bland music that went with it, but yet she could kind of sing anything and just make it sound brilliant. So it's good hearing like that. And what's weird is that maybe a lot of the R&B stuff in America certainly was getting so bland, you know, and with Lauryn Hill, you know, using musicians and stuff coming in, it sounded much more organic and really good, and sort of like early Stevie Wonder or something like that, you know, In the Visions, that Talking Book, that kind of period. And you know, it is a bit calculated, I suppose, in a way. Like Wyclef, it's funny because he's like got his hands in all the pies and got all